You're gonna die because of what's dying right now. Stop scrolling. Stop. I need you to watch this entire video without stopping, because what I'm about to tell you is the most important information you'll hear this year. And honestly, probably in your lifetime. In the next 22 minutes, I'm going to explain something that scientists are terrified about, but nobody is talking about right now as you're watching this. In this exact moment, species are going extinct. Not in some distant future, not in 50 years. Right now, we're in the middle of the Sixth Mass Extinction event in Earth's history. The first 5 extinction events killed 95% of all life on Earth. This one is being caused by you, by me, by all of us. And here's the thing that's absolutely horrifying. If the extinction accelerates, your life changes completely. You won't have the food you eat now. You won't have clean water that keeps you alive. You won't have stable weather. You won't have a future. But here's what really gets me. Most people don't understand this fact. Biodiversity isn't some nature nerd concern. Biodiversity is your survival. It's literally whether you eat, breathe, and live. And it's dying. In the next 22 minutes, I'm going to 1. Show you what's actually happening. 2. Explain why it's happening, and you're gonna be pissed. 3. Show you the exact timeline of collapse. 4. Reveal what happens to you. 5. Or you're going to take action. Let's go. The extinction you don't see. Let me be very specific about what's happening right now. Since you were born, 68% of wildlife has been eliminated. 1 million species are threatened with extinction. 75% in 50 years. Bee populations have collapsed 40% since 2006. Coral reefs are bleaching and dying. Rainforests are being cleared at the rate of 27 football fields per minute. Ocean fish stocks are depleted. Soil is becoming infertile. Pollinators are disappearing. Predators are gone from most ecosystems. This isn't exaggeration. These are UN statistics. Let me explain what this means in plain English. What's actually dying? The insects that pollinate our food. Without pollinators equals no food. The bees that make 1/3 of our food possible. Without bees equals starvation. The fish that feed 3 billion people. Without fish equals famine. The soil that grows our crops. Without soil equals agricultural collapse. The forests that produce oxygen. Without forests equals suffocation. The bacteria that clean water. Without bacteria equals disease. The genes that create medicine. Without genetic diversity equals no cures. The predators that balance ecosystems. Without predators equals ecosystem collapse. When one species dies, it's not just that species. It cascades. Imagine a Jenga tower. You pull out one block, it wobbles. You pull out another, it gets shakier. You keep pulling blocks, and eventually, the entire tower collapses. That's what's happening to Earth's ecosystems. We're pulling out blocks, and the tower is wobbling. But here's what terrifies scientists. We're at the point where if we pull out a few more blocks, the entire system collapses. And when that happens, there's no reverting it. Collapse is permanent. You're the cause, and you don't even know it. How we're killing the planet and ourselves. Now, before you blame big corporations or the government, you need to understand something. You are the cause. I'm the cause. We are the cause. Here's exactly how. Agriculture. 45% of extinction. We need to feed 8 billion people. So we destroy habitats to grow crops, use chemicals that kill insects, monoculture plantations that destroy biodiversity, clear rainforests for cattle ranching, deplete soil, making it infertile. And the catch: we could feed more people with less land if we weren't so wasteful. We throw away 1/3 of all food produced. We waste enough food to feed the entire world's hungry population 3 times over. So we're destroying biodiversity to grow food that we throw away. Fishing, 20% of extinction. We've emptied the oceans. We use nets, so efficient that we don't just catch fish. We catch everything. We've eliminated 90% of large fish species. We've destroyed coral reefs through bottom trawling. We've devastated species that depend on those fish. And the worst part, the fish we catch, we throw most back dead because we're killing species to waste them. Deforestation, 20% of extinction. Rainforests are being cleared for cattle, ranching for burgers, palm oil plantations for your shampoo and cookies, soy farming to feed livestock, timber for furniture. Each minute, rainforests the size of 40 football fields disappear. Rainforests are home to 80% of all species on Earth. We're burning down the most biodiverse places on the planet to make products you don't need. Pollution, 15% of extinction. We dump chemicals into water that kill fish and frogs. We dump plastic into oceans that poison everything. We emit carbon that warms the planet, destroying habitats. We use pesticides that kill insects that pollinate our food. We're poisoning the life systems we depend on with our own waste. Climate change, accelerating all of the above. Global temperatures are rising. Species can't adapt. Habitats become uninhabitable. Breeding cycles are disrupted. Food chains collapse. Weather becomes extreme. Ecosystems can't survive. And here's the brutal part. This is all happening because of our choices. Every time you buy cheap meat, rainforest destruction. Buy products with palm oil, rainforest destruction. Waste food, resource destruction. Doctor pollution. Buy clothes you won't wear. Resource destruction. Use single-use plastic pollution. Keep your house too warm. Cool carbon. You're participating in biodiversity destruction, not because you're evil, but because the system is broken and makes destruction easy and sustainable. This is the part where people get depressed and give up. But wait, there's something else you need to know. Your life timeline when ecosystems fail. The personal apocalypse coming for you. Everyone talks about climate change and extinction like it's some abstract future problem. It's not. Let me show you your personal timeline of what happens when biodiversity collapses. Year 1 to 5. Starting NOW 2026 to 2031. Food prices triple. Pollinator collapse means fewer crops. Supply drops. Prices explode. If you're middle class, food becomes expensive but manageable. If you're poor, food becomes unaffordable. Entire countries face famine. Migration explodes. Hundreds of millions of climate refugees move. Borders collapse. Conflict erupts. You don't feel it yet, but the system is cracking. Water becomes scarce. Aquifers deplete. Rivers dry up. Water conflicts begin. First world countries still have water, but they have to ration it. Medicine becomes expensive. Pharmaceutical supply chains depend on biodiversity. As species disappear, medicine gets harder to make. Prices skyrocket. Mental health crashes. People realize what's happening. Anxiety and depression epidemics hit younger generations hard. First sign, increased anxiety medications. Suicide rates spike. Year 5 to 10, 2031 to 2036. Food shortage becomes real. Supply chains break. Store shelves have gaps. Meat becomes luxury. Vegetables become hard to find. Malnutrition becomes common, even in wealthy countries. You stop eating what you're used to. You adapt, or you go hungry. Water rationing becomes mandatory. You get shower rations. Watering your lawn becomes illegal. In some regions, water wars begin. Countries fight over water. Entire populations migrate. Medicine shortages. Antibiotics become scarce. Infections you thought were solved come back. Cancer treatments run out. Diseases that were treatable become death sentences. Children born now GET diseases their grandparents had. Mass migration reaches critical levels. 1 billion climate refugees are moving. Entire countries become uninhabitable. Pakistan, Bangladesh, Middle East, already hitting 54°C heat. Borders militarize. Nations turn away starving people. Refugee camps of 10 million people become normal. Conflict becomes constant. Water wars, food wars, migration wars, border wars. Global military spending triples. Resources are militarized. Climate anxiety becomes clinical pandemic. 25% of young people have severe anxiety. Depression, suicide rates are alarming. Society starts fragmenting. Year 1, 02, 0203, 62046. Ecosystem collapse spreads. 1. Ecosystem crashes. Triggers collapse of others. Amazon rainforest switches from carbon sink to carbon source. Methane releases accelerate warming catastrophically. Tipping points are triggered. Feedback loops accelerate everything. Agricultural collapse is complete. Crops fail. Livestock die. Fisheries collapse. Global famine is real. Billions of people competing for survival food. Resource wars become world war. Nations invade for resources. Nuclear weapons are considered. Governments fail. Central authority can't maintain control. Regions become autonomous. Law breaks down. Civilization splinters. Year 20 plus 2046 math. New dark age. Reduced population through death, disease, conflict. Surviving regions rebuild at much lower population and technology levels. Civilization as we know it ends. The question becomes, do humans survive? Now, before you despair, let me tell you something important. This timeline is inevitable if we do nothing. But we're not doing nothing. We're doing something. Just not enough yet, which is why this moment matters so much. Why people ignore this. The psychological avoidance. Why we're in denial. You might be thinking, if this is so serious, why isn't everyone talking about it? Great question. Here's the answer. Psychological avoidance. Our brains can't process existential threats. We evolved to handle immediate dangers. Predators, immediate threats. We can't psychologically process. Our entire civilization is collapsing. It's too big. So our brain does something. It ignores you know this feeling. You know you should exercise. No, you should eat healthy. No, you should save money, but you don't, because the consequence feels abstract and far away. Extinction feels the same way. It feels like a future problem, but it's not a future problem. It's right now. Media distraction. Mainstream media doesn't cover extinction because it's depressing. Depressing content doesn't get clicks. Outrage gets clicks. Celebrity gossip gets clicks, but the entire ecosystem is collapsing. Gets scrolled past corporate interest. Companies that profit from extinction don't talk about extinction. Oil companies don't want you thinking about carbon. Factory farming doesn't want you thinking about deforestation. Fast fashion doesn't want you thinking about waste. They spend billions on not making you think about consequences. Hopelessness. Even people who know about extinction often feel, what's the point? I'm just one person. That feeling is poisonous. It's also a lie, but it's a common lie. Economic system. Our economic system depends on infinite growth. Infinite growth on a finite planet is impossible. Our system is literally designed to consume resources until they're gone, and we've accepted that as normal. So when scientists say we're destroying biodiversity, the system doesn't change. The system just keeps going until it can't anymore. Here's the thing I want you to understand. This isn't happening because people are stupid. It's happening because we're psychologically blocked from seeing it. Our brains aren't equipped to process it. Our media distorts it. Our system incentivizes it. Our economy depends on it. But that doesn't mean we're powerless. In fact, that changes right now. What you actually need to know, the facts, that will change your perspective. The uncomfortable truth. Let me tell you something that will change how you see this. Fact 1. Extinction is reversible for now. Species we thought were extinct came back. California condor 28 birds left in 1987. Now 500 plus exist. Arabian oryx, extinct and wild, reintroduced. Population growing. Gray whale, hunted to 4,000, now 22,000. Extinction can be reversed, but only if we act fast. The window is closing. Scientists estimate we have 10 years max to reverse the trend. After that, tipping points trigger. Collapse becomes irreversible. 10 years. Not 50, not 100. 10 years. Fact 2. Biodiversity recovery creates abundance. When we stop destroying, nature comes back. And here's the wild part. When nature comes back, everything improves. Crop yields improve because pollinators return. Water purifies because ecosystems restore. Weather stabilizes because carbon sinks work again. Disease reduces because ecological balance returns. It's not altruism. It's saving biodiversity equals saving ourselves. Fact 3. Individual choices matter. You might think, one person changing won't matter. But here's what's true. When one person changes their behavior, their sphere of influence watches. When 10,000 people change, industries notice. When 1 million people change, markets shift. When 10 million people change, governments respond. We're at 1 million people right now who take this seriously. We need 10 million. That's you and 9 million others. The difference between collapse and recovery is that movement. Fact 4. The 80-20th rule. You don't have to change your entire life. 80% of damage comes from 20% of activities. If you change that 20%, you prevent 80% of your damage. What's the 20%? Mostly diet, meat consumption, transportation, single-use plastic, overconsumption, energy waste. These 5 things account for 80% of individual impact. Change these 5 things, and you're part of the solution. Not perfectly, but genuinely. Fact 5. Corporations are responsible, but so are you. 68% of pollution comes from 100 corporations, but those corporations exist because of demand. Exxon exists because people buy gas. Nestle exists because people buy products. Factory farms exist because people eat meat. Fast fashion exists because people buy clothes. So yes, corporations are responsible, but they exist to serve us. If we change behavior, corporations must change. They'll follow profit. If profit is in sustainability, they'll become sustainable. Fact 6. Individual actions scale. 1 person stops eating meat. 1 ton CO2 year saved. 1 person stops buying plastic. 100s of items from landfill. 1 person uses public transit. Carbon and pollution reduced. 1 person buys second-hand resources and production prevented. 1 person plants trees. Ecosystem restored. These aren't small. 1 million people making these changes equals massive impact. We have the power. We just have to use it, which you can do right now. The actionable path. Your 30-day extinction reversal challenge. Here's what I want you to do, starting today. Week 1. Awareness. Stop and really feel the crisis. Don't be depressed, but don't be numb. Watch 1 documentary. Research 1 fact. Read 1 article. Become aware. You can't change what you don't see. Week 2. Choose your 20%. Pick one of these to change. Option A. Reduce meat. Biggest impact. Eat meat 4 days a week. That alone prevents tons of CO2 and deforestation. Option B. Reduce plastic. Buy a reusable water bottle. Stop using single-use bags. Use bar soap instead of liquid. Option C. Reduce transportation footprint. Use public transit 2 days a week. Carpool 1 day a week. Bike or walk 1 day a week. Option D. Reduce consumption. Buy secondhand instead of new. Keep clothing 2x as long. Say no to impulse purchases. Option E. Reduce energy. Take shorter showers. Turn off lights. Use less heating, cooling. Pick one. Master it. Then add another. Week 3. Educate your circle. Tell 3 people about what you learned, what you're changing, why it matters. Don't preach. Just share. Your education changes minds. People listen to people, not Instagram posts. Week 4. Take 1 bigger action. Pick one. Plant 10 trees. Volunteer for environmental cleanup. Donate to environmental organization. Start a recycling program at work. School. Have a conversation with someone in power. 1 action. Then commit to it. 30 days from now, you've changed 1 habit. You've educated 3 people. You've taken 1 bigger action. You're now part of the solution. And here's the beautiful part. Once you start, you can't stop. Because once you see the problem, you can't unsee it. And once you see yourself as the solution, you become powerful. You're no longer waiting for governments. You're no longer waiting for corporations. You're the change. And when millions of us become the change, the whole system shifts. Why we're actually gonna make it. The reason to believe. Now, I want to tell you something hopeful. Because hope isn't just emotion. Hope is strategy. Here's why I actually believe we're gonna reverse extinction. Reason 1. Awareness is exploding. Young people they see the crisis. They refuse to accept it. Millions of youth are pushing for change. That pushes governments, that pushes companies. Awareness is the first step. We're there. Reason 2. Solutions exist. We don't need to invent the cure. The cure already exists. Plant-based agriculture is possible. Renewable energy is cheaper than fossil fuels. Conservation works. We have proof. Sustainable forestry is viable. Circular economy is feasible. We don't lack solutions. We lack implementation. But implementation follows when demand changes. Reason 3. Economic incentives are shifting. Clean energy is now cheaper than fossil fuels. Sustainable agriculture yields more food with fewer inputs. Electric vehicles will be cheaper than gas cars. The profit incentive is shifting toward sustainability. When profits shift, the whole system follows. Reason 4. Nature is resilient. Nature wants to restore itself. When we stop destroying forests, grow back. When we stop fishing, fish populations explode. When we stop polluting, rivers clean. Nature is eager to heal. We just need to get out of the way. Reason 5. We have a playbook. Costa Rica generates 99% of electricity from renewables. Bhutan has positive carbon footprint, removes more CO2 than it produces. Namibia has successfully restored elephant populations. Rwanda has restored mountain gorilla numbers. New Zealand banned single-use plastic bags. Proof exists that change is possible. We just need to scale it. Reason 6. Critical mass is building. 10% of population is enough to shift culture. Right now, about 3% of people are actively working on this. We need 10%. That's only 800 million more people, and we're growing exponentially. When we hit 10%, the entire system shifts. We're close. This is data-backed belief that we can reverse extinction, but only if we act. The window is 10 years. The time is now. This is your legacy. Here's what I want you to really understand. You are living in the most consequential decade in human history. In 10 years, either we reverse extinction and secure a future, or we tip the point and collapse becomes inevitable. Your choices in this decade determine everything. This isn't about being green. This is about survival. Your survival. Your children's survival. Civilization's survival. Every action you take or don't take matters. One person choosing differently equals one life saved. Eventually, 1 million people equals millions of lives. This is your moment to matter. This is your opportunity to be the generation that fixed it. Your grandchildren will ask, "What did you do when everything was collapsing?" What will you say? Recycled. I changed my diet. I told others, or I did nothing, and hoped someone else would fix it. The choice is yours. But choose knowing your choice matters. Your action counts. You are powerful, and this world needs you. Subscribe and join the movement. If this video moved you, if you felt something shift, if you realized that extinction is your problem, then I need you to do 5 things right now. Number 1, like this video. Not just watch. Actually like it. It tells the algorithm that extinction matters, that this is important. Your like might be the one that gets this to 10 million views. And 10 million views equals 1 million people changed. Number 2, comment your commitment. What's one thing you're committing to change in the next 30 days? Tell me. Tell the world, because commitment public is commitment real. Number 3, subscribe to Logic and Lab. Turn on notifications, because we're going deep on problems nobody talks about. Crisis nobody acknowledges. Truths nobody speaks. Every week, we're bringing you stories that matter. Information that changes perspective. Knowledge that creates action. Number 4, share this video. Send it to people who need to wake up. Don't share it like here's depressing content. Share it like here's something that matters. Watch this. Every person who watches equals one person who might change. Every person who changes equals biodiversity saved. Number 5. Take one action. Not this week. Not tomorrow. Today. Right after this video. Pick one of the 20% actions I mentioned and start. One action compounds. One action becomes a habit. One habit becomes a life. One life becomes 10 lives. 10 lives become 1 million lives. 1 million lives save the planet. This is the moment. This is the movement. You are not helpless. You are powerful. Use that power. The world is watching. The planet is depending on you. And I believe in you. This is Logic and Lab. And this is urgent. Let's reverse extinction. Let's build a future. Let's do this. Subscribe now.